Alrighty. T.I.T. Episode 5. We have the Splattershot, the Octoshot, and the edgy one, which is somewhere over here. Here it is. But we shall start with the regular Splattershot. The second weapon, just about everyone plays on this game, just in general. Almost everyone just switches immediately to the Splattershot after the Junior. No joke. Okay, first match. The lobby waiting time was quite a while, which wasn't particularly pleasant, but there we are. Oh look, there's a fellow fish skull. How pleasant. But anyway, the default Splattershot, as you should probably know if you've played this game for longer than a few minutes, has burst bombs and a splashdown. Now, splashdown isn't really that great of a special when it comes to high levels of play, meaning you're not going to see the default Splattershot around very often in ranked, since it can be cancelled. But in casual, that doesn't happen nearly so often. And as you can see there, if they get hit by an indirect of a splashdown, then it's only 2 shots, and then you have them dead, which is good since you can pull off sneaky, not so sneaky, quick kills. Similarly with bursts, if you can land a direct burst, then it's just 2 more shots and then they're down. But with an indirect, it's still 3. And they knew I was going to go around. And they're running Respawn Punisher. Wow! That's an awful gear ability to have on a Slayer weapon. You die constantly. I guess that they're extremely cocky and confident about their ability to slay. But as you can see there, I just killed them, so that Respawn Punisher is going to bite them in the arse. Obviously should do. Splashdown just for the fun of it. And I thought that missiles didn't go through grates. Guess I was wrong. Maybe they patched that out to make missiles more of a viable choice in heavily grated maps such as this one. Darn. At least I wasn't killed by the one with Respawn Punisher. Now, I do have stealth jump on this side, which I haven't used yet. But stealth jump, it allows much riskier jumps to be useful. Get him. Slippery there. Not so slippery when they stop moving. Quick tip for those of you who don't know, stopping, or disconnecting in general, but also simply ceasing to move is not a good strategy. You shouldn't try it, it's not going to win you any matches. In fact, if you stand still, then you're just going to disconnect from being timed out. But anyhow, 9 splats, most of the match. That's pretty good. But yes. Splattershot. Alrighty. Again in Kelp Dome, we have the regular Splattershot. Of the 3, I'm not sure which is my favourite. It's certainly not the regular one, but I'm torn between a sub that's better or a special that I don't really need to be skilled with to use. Since I'm not that great at inkjet. But tenta missiles you don't need any skill to use, you just need to put it out at the right sort of time. And there you are. But with suction bombs, I don't think I prefer them to splats, like regular splat bombs, because regular splat bombs are faster. You can get things done at a faster speed. And I think they may be just a little bit more efficient in terms of ink consumption as well. But I'm not so sure on that last point, so don't quote me on it. I'd say, of the three, the one I've used most often is the edgy one. Simply because most of the time, or just at a time, I was sensible enough to go with the thing where both the sub and the special I find usable. But as of late, I've been using the Octoshot a lot more. Tentactech, if you want to be technical. Now, what I used to do with a Splattershot build is I would go heavily on the side of mobility. But recently I've created a set which allows for stealth jumping and also some quick respawn, so that if I rush in and nothing good comes of it, then less bad will come of it also. I probably should have ducked behind the wall there, but oh well. That's fine. Quick respawn is far more of a safety net than it is anything else. I don't like splooshes. I'm not a fan of splooshes. I don't like going up against them, I don't like using them. I don't care if I put out some more positive opinions in my sploosh episode of T.I.T. I don't like them. Oh, they're blah 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 DC'd. Or should I say blur, since that's what I prefer to call it. Yeah. DC. We're probably gonna win. But that's fine, I take those. I like winning. So I'll check up their base. Okay. We probably won. But I'm not so sure. We may not have done. Oh, we did. Okay. But not by a whole lot, so they must have disconnected well into the match. I didn't get the most splats that time, but that's fine. Yeah, they got 2 splats and 2 specials before they poofed into mist. Okay. Third match of the episode, and this time we have the Octoshot, which has splat bombs and inkjet. I like the splat bombs, but the inkjet I am not too great with. I can use it, but I can't use it well. And we have 2 undercover brothers on our team, so I wouldn't say that our chances of winning are particularly high. The splat bombs, I am a large fan of, however. Since, you know, they're splat bombs. Who doesn't like splat bombs? I don't know who doesn't like splat bombs, but if there is someone, then, well, opinions are opinions. You can't change someone's opinion that easily. We appear to be tracking an enemy with a point sensor, who has subsequently jumped. That was a ball. I don't know why I didn't expect that to be. Down. Again with the sploosh. Sploosh, eh? But yes. I don't know why I keep saying that. But yeah. Anyhow. The Splattershot, all 3 of them, so they're the same weapon, just with different kits, they turf quite well. Not as well as the turfing titans, like the Sploosh and the Aerospray, but they get the job done better than a lot of weapons. notably better than most things such as the Splattershot Pro, which is an immensely popular weapon. And also just probably better than rollers, I'd say. Because even though a roller can do its rolling thing, that only sort of turfs behind it, and it's just a different way of painting, which is hard to compare with. It's hard to compare things with it, but I'd say that maybe Splattershot is somewhat better. And he just got me. Oh dear. Do you think you could get into our base? You would be wrong there. Because I respawned right on top of you. Anyhow. They seem to have gotten a lot of turf. Which is understandable, seeing as they have a sploosh and an aerospray and an Enza. And a roller, which is also quite good at painting. And we have 2 undercovers. So, like, we still won. Of course. Since the Splattershot is such a good weapon. Well, how did the undercovers get more splats than the rest of us? Maybe they're just extremely good at it. I don't know. Okay. Again, in Kelp Dome. I don't know why I keep getting Kelp Dome. But hey. It's a map that's been around since, I believe, the beginning. Please play. I don't know if, like, from the very, very beginning of Splatoon 1, but I know this map has been around for a long time. As has the Splattershot, so it's fitting. Anyway, a nice inkjet has been charged, so if I come across an enemy, maybe I might use it. Not particularly effectively. But I got 2 kills with it somehow, so there's that. Anyhow. I'm not looking forward to my Clash Blaster video. Since, in case you don't know already, I heavily dislike the Clash Blaster. I think it's awful. Like, as in, proper, you're at a disadvantage using it. Because, in terms of point blank, direct, you're slightly better than the 96 Gal, which is meant for long range. So what does that say about it? Sure, it can hit around corners, but the regular one can do that as well. It doesn't paint much better. And you can't get sick one-shots that sound amazing. So, like, the Clash Blaster, I don't like. I don't particularly like people who main it. But if they use motion controls, then I can like it. True disrespect is against people who stick controls and Clash Blaster, and they just main that. I would have little to no respect for a person if they did that. One of the two, alright, fine, I can handle it. Sticks, regular blaster, okay, fine. But Sticks Clash, no. No. I'd get them to change their ways. At least just use the regular blaster because it can one-shot, making it so much better. And its indirects are a 2-shot, so even with a slower fire rate, it still feels better to me. Mind you, I haven't actually used the Clash Blaster due to how awful I think it is. So I have no actual gauge on how good it really is, or how it really feels to play. Goodness me, a lot of turf was inked. most of the map has been turfed. You don't see that often. Interesting. We won by a good amount, which is good. And I got the most splats on my team, which is nice. Not the most turf, but I'm not the Aerospray, so what's to expect, you know? Don't you? And finally, to complete the trilogy of weapons, we have the edgy Splattershot. Again on Kelp Dome. Like, come on, game. Give me the other map. I want to play on the warehouse. Please. Walleye Warehouse. Come on. I would like it. We have what I believe is a neon yellow or green. I can't quite tell the difference between those two colours. I am slightly colorblind. And the opponents have that colour, which I'm not even going to attempt to name. I think it's blue. It could be pinkish. I don't know. But yes. A little bit of self-promotion. I stream on Twitch if you don't know. I don't stream particularly often, mostly on weekends. But I do still stream there. It'd be nice if you went and followed that, so that maybe you can show up sometime. Or two. Darn. But yes, back to your regularly scheduled, or should I say irregularly scheduled content. I've been planning on doing more story-driven animations soon. But to do that, first I do have to compile a load of sound effects and TF2 mercenary voice lines, since I do plan on using them. And not only voice lines, but also basic sounds from which I can reconstruct words that they don't already say. And also some words and such that I would use a lot, so that I can just have them on hand. And I need it. Probably a lot of storage space in the computer to do that. So I'd probably do it on an external hard drive or something. Just a massive thing of sounds and maybe small clips and green screens to use. And above that as well, I need to come up with some characters. Now, so far, all I have that I could use would be all the characters that I have here, Fish Skull Man, and the TF2 mercenaries. And at that point, it's more of a TF2 animation with an Octolink in it, than it is a Splatoon animation with the mercenaries in it. So, I do need some Inkling Octolink characters. I could also, like, just use Cuttlefish, Marie, Callie, off the hook and such. Which I probably end up will. Which I probably will end up doing, I mean. But I do need some original characters to use. So, when I do achieve that, all of the things that I have listed, I shall probably begin to make more story-focused animations, rather than just short funnies that I create in, like, not long. And the only thing about me doing animations right now is that with Stop Motion Helper in Gary's mod, I have to, first of all, create the thing, but then also go through and screenshot on every frame, because the laptop I use isn't particularly powerful, and so therefore it struggles to run both Gary's mod and OBS, meaning that any animations I make with Stop Motion Helper that I record using OBS, I end up, well, they end up looking really choppy and bad. But if I just do it screenshot by screenshot, then it doesn't look choppy and bad. And Also, finally, we got a match on Walleye Warehouse rather than Kelp Dome for the 6th time. So, yeah, there's that. This edgy Splattershot, it has suction bombs and tentamissiles, which are a lot easier to use than ink jets. There's that much to say of it. But it also has less potential for destroying people. You know, because with an inkjet used well, you can utterly shred an entire team if they're bunched up close. But with tentamissiles, most you can really do most of the time is just scatter them, which isn't particularly good, but it has its uses. And suction bombs are, well, they're just a different option, really. They have their upsides over splat bombs, and they have their downsides over splat bombs. They're different subs. There isn't really an objective better one if you're skilled at using both. Unlike the inkjet and tentamiss, where, given that you're good at both, inkjet is far superior. But if you're not a particularly skilled player, then like missiles will still do you nice. It's just you can't have as much potential with it, you know? Inkjet can do a lot more, but most of the time won't, due to the fact that you need to be skilled with it. So there's my insightful comments on the weapons themselves. I don't exactly have strats for using them or anything, other than basics like aim well, splashdown cancel when you can, substrafe if you can. Try and position yourself properly. In terms of gear, you can use whatever you like. I go for this gear setup. You could go for a different gear setup. With the Splattershots, the only thing you don't really want to stack lots of is MPU. But that applies with most things. So, yeah. Most things will be good with it. So, that's it for this episode of T.I.T. Try and Turf. I don't really have much to say, since I said most of it during the gameplay. So for now, I suppose, goodbye.